How are we doing today? Today we are going to talk to you about setting up the Millermatic 255 auto package. Welder comes complete with everything you need. We're going to start out with the power cable. It goes into the positive port. It twists and locks. We then have the ground cable. As you can see, the ground cable, that goes into the lower port. Same thing, goes in, twists 90 degrees, and we're ready to go. Just going to clamp that there for now so we can see it. And now we're going to set up the MIG gun itself. So with the Millermatic 255 Auto, for the steel, we have the MDX 200 gun. It's ergonomically comfortable over here. Got a little rubber in the palm of your hand. So we take the gun, feed the lead through the opening, set it in, and we have a cable. It can only go in one way, one position. MIG gun, and we're going to install that. Pretty simple process with this. Goes in through the port, feed the power cable in. Just rotate it until it goes in, and then just a quarter turn or so, lock it into place, and that's it. Insert the MIG gun the side of the unit, secure it, just snug it up a little bit. We have the power source, goes into the lower forward connector. I said it only goes in one way, so it's just a matter of twisting it until it fits in. And then once you've done that, quarter turn secures it. We're good to go. Okay, next up we're going to load a spool of wire on there, spin off the nut, get the wire. Slides on. There's a pin on the back that secures it so the drive motor will push it. Spin the nut back on. Clean this up just a little bit. And feed it through feeder. Into the gun and drop down and secure it. We're now ready to feed. Once we've got the wire fed, we're now going to just pull the trigger. It'll feed the wire through the MIG gun. It'll take a minute here. Okay, once we've brought the wire through the MIG gun, make sure that you have the right size tip to match the wire. Slide it on, thread it, and put the nozzle on it. A couple of turns. Trim it back to about 1/8 of an inch, and we're ready to go. So let's power up the 255 Auto, and let's get this thing set to go. Get your input voltage down below. We're going to use the auto set program, so have the auto set light illuminated. Now we come and make our selection as to what we're going to put on auto set. Mild steel. Oops. So going to set for mild steel with C25. What that is that tells you that you've got a mixed gas of argon and CO2. So it's 25%. Set your wire size. We have 030 in there. Now we come over and set our metal thickness. So we're going to do some sheet metal somewhere around there. At this point, we are ready to go. Once you know your metal thickness, you know your wire size, and you know your gas, that's it. You're ready to pull the trigger and get welding. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to switch over from the steel to the silicon bronze setup. Make sure that the unit is powered off. We don't want any power going through it as we're trying to take things apart. And first thing we're going to do is snip off some the wire. Yeah, where is it? It's too short. Out of the way. Undo the knob. Pull out the steel. Take out the big gun. Undo the connector. Okay, there you have it. Okay, next up, we're going to change the drive rolls. You just got to come on in. Oh, twist it far enough. There we go. Pops right off. Same thing with the bottom. You just pull right off. And if you look at it, it gives you the size for the wire intended. In this case, we use an 035, so the 030 and the 035 are on the same spool, the drive roll. And now to install it, you just push it back on. Twist. And twist. We're ready to go. Drive roll's installed with the correct size. Put it on, line it up with the pin. On there and feed it through. Same process with the MDX 100 gun that we use with the other one for the steel. Feed it through. Plug in place. Of course I can't see that. And we're ready to go. Ready to go. Put voltage. So back to the same thing that we did with the steel. We're going to have it on auto set, find the correct program that we use. So we're using silicon bronze. It will automatically give you 100% argon gas because that's all you use. Wire size in this case, we use an 035, and we have our metal gauge thickness over here. Once you've done that, hit the pulse button and you're ready to go. You have to use the pulse with the silicon bronze at all times. By OEM specifications, this is a synergic type pulse, so it leaves a little bit smaller heat signature as opposed to a regular short arc. So you have to make sure that you do use the pulse button with the silicon bronze. Okay, we're ready to set up and change it over to the aluminum. We've pulled out the silicon bronze gun, same as we did with the steel. Just undo the wing nut, loosen up, feed it back. With the aluminum, we're going to be using 1.2 millimeter or 0.047, and we're using 55, 54 aluminum as per spec for Ford, GM, and most every manufacturer. Install your drive rolls again. With this one, with the aluminum, we have a special gun for the aluminum one. This one is the MDX 250. It's got the yellow button on it. It has a little bit bigger head, a little different angle on it, but it also has the Teflon liner in there. This way we can't cross-contaminate between silicon, bronze, steel, etc. So this gun has to stay separate at all times. It still installs exactly the same as the others. Take it, the cable. Okay, we're ready to set up and change it over to the aluminum. We pulled out the silicon bronze gun, same as we did with the steel. Just undo the wing nut, loosen up, feed it back. With the aluminum, we're going to be using 1.2 millimeter or 0.047. And we're using 55, 54 aluminum as per spec for Ford, GM, and most every manufacturer. Install your drive rolls again. With one for the aluminum one. This one is the MDX 250. It's got the yellow button on it. It has a little bit bigger head, a little different angle on it, but it also has the Teflon liner in there. This way we can't cross-contaminate between silicon, bronze, steel, etc. So this gun has to stay separate at all times. It still installs exactly the same as the others after every use, and put in a sealed container, whether it a Tupperware, Ziploc bag, something like that, because of oxidation and contamination. So, same program with the aluminum. Wire clips on. Nut on there. And it's going to be a little bit softer, so you need to be a little more careful of it. The rollers on these have a U groove rather than a V groove, so that it does not squash and crimp the aluminum wire. Put it in, and we're ready to go. Okay, now that we have the MDX 250 aluminum gun installed, the black one, yellow button, power the unit back up again, like we did in the past. Screen comes up. So now we're going to go and change the settings. We want auto set, and we want pulse again for the aluminum. There's pulsed aluminum 4X. We actually want pulsed aluminum 5X. Has to do with the series of the wire. This is 5554, so we needed to say 5XXX, so there's a bunch in that series. So we set the wire size, 3/64, 1.2 millimeter or 0.047. Now we go to set our metal thickness. We have the auto set, we have the pulse on, we are ready to go. It also will automatically feed the argon for this one as well, because only 100% argon for the aluminum welds. And there we have it.